Well, boys and girls, it's official. The city of Vancouver has gone bananas. Some of you who are less in tune with the Canadian way probably don't know what's going on right now. Well, right now, 2 hockey teams are duking it out for Sir Stanley. That's right, the Stanley Cup. And going head-to-head are the Vancouver Canucks with the Boston Bruins. Now, I understand that some of you probably aren't hockey fans, so you don't understand what is going on in this city. Like the World Cup to the UK and Super Bowl is to America, the Stanley Cup Finals is to Canada. Maybe you don't have a lot of Canadian friends, or you don't know much about Canada, but hockey is our national sport. And we take our hockey very seriously. Like any spectacular sporting event, you have the regular fanfare. You have fans painting their faces. You have fans painting their front lawn. People drive around with flags on their cars. They wear their jerseys all the time. Some people dress up in green spandex suits to go to the game. And if you were wondering, no, the Canucks have never won a Stanley Cup before. But this isn't just about Vancouver, you see, because it's Canada. Everybody wants the cup to come back to Canada. Well, except Calgary Flames fans. They seem to be sticking to their rivalry and haven't jumped upon the Canucks bandwagon just yet. And really, there's no better team than the Canucks to bring the cup back to Canada because they have a slogan, and that slogan is, "We are all Canucks." Canadians are hockey crazy. And even if you're not a huge sports fan, you kind of have to appreciate this fast-paced sport that's played upon ice skates. Even more so than when the Olympics were here, there's a sense of camaraderie within the city. It's a fallback subject, and when everything else fails, you can always ask, "So, did you catch that last game?" Now, I don't know if the Canucks are gonna win. Currently, they just lost Game 3. By the time I post this on Friday, it could very well be all wrapped up. But this isn't about who's gonna win the Stanley Cup Finals. This is about what the Stanley Cup Finals is doing to Vancouver. The numbers alone are impressive. On game nights, they close down Granville Street so that people can flock downtown and watch the game on these big screens that they've put up. They estimated that 70,000 people went downtown. They're saying that 1 in 5 people in Canada have been tuning in to watch the game. On top of that, 30% of the tickets that were sold in Boston at their home game, not even in this city, were sold to Canucks fans. 30% are Canucks fans in their arena. And even more impressive than that 30% is the fact that when they are away for games, they have sold out Rogers Arena, which is where the Canucks play when they play at home. It seats 18,630 people, and they are sold out. They sold the tickets for $10 a head, and all those people are going to do is sit down and watch the game on a giant TV. Of course, it's for a good cause. The money goes towards Canucks Place. And for those of you who don't know, Canucks Place is a hospice for sick children. They've relit the Olympic torch. A local restaurant called Boston Pizza has changed their name for the duration until the playoffs are over. It is now called Vancouver Pizza. And look at what this guy did to his vehicle. Who does that? One dedicated fan does that. I know it's probably hard for you to imagine 70,000 people in the core downtown of Vancouver. It's crazy. Not only is it crazy to see, it's crazy to hear. Take a look at this clip. This person set up a camera on their balcony and they recorded the sound when the Canucks got a goal. It just boggles the mind. And while I'm not a huge hockey fan myself, I really appreciated driving down the street the other day and seeing a giant tinfoil Stanley Cup tied to the top of a guy's truck. Yeah, I'm not joking. You might not be into hockey, but you should love the Vancouver Canucks because they have a breaching orca on their logo. Because their mascot is a whale named Finn. Because they've had some of the ugliest jerseys I've ever seen in my life. Because Alexander Burrows bit another man's finger during a game. And while I don't tune into every game or know every player by name, I hope the Canucks do win. Because I really don't want to hear all these people bitching when they don't. I mean, they're still talking about 1994. How they made it to the finals. How it went to Game 7. And how they lost. This week I looked up 2 terms on the Urban Dictionary. The first term, Canuck. Canuck is a term for Canadians like Yankee is a term for Americans. It comes from the World War I comic book, Johnny Canuck, which features a Canadian soldier in the war. Now, Johnny Canuck looks like this. And he's another mascot for our hockey team. So Canuck, a slang term for Canadian. The second term I looked up was hockey. Now I'm hoping most of you know what hockey is. But the Urban Dictionary definition is pretty funny. It is the greatest sport in the world. It's not just a game, it's a lifestyle. And hockey players are the greatest athletes in the world. I think the person who wrote that definition was a little biased. So my city's gone Canuck crazy, and it's a little bit hyperactive and it's a little bit out of control, but it's a little bit cool too. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all again next week for another edition of That Girl Tyson.
General quarters, all hands man your battle stations, all hands man your battle stations.